Hi, I'm Maryna, and joining us today is Elmo from Narfo. Elmo, how are you?
Hi, Maryna. I'm good. Thank you. Nice for having me on the show.
Elmo, just please explain to us what is Narfo?
So we basically, we're a credit association in terms of SAP. So if you look at the Firearms Control Act, it makes provision for accredited associations, which can then in turn provide their members with dedicated status in terms of certain parameters that needs to be in place. And beyond that, we are a normal firearm association. So our main goal is to cater for any firearm owner who is an existing firearm owner or who's just putting his foot into the firearm owner industry, buying his first firearm, getting him through the motions, assisting them. So that's our objective, is to be there for the general firearm owning public, and also to get these people to actually use their firearms. So that's our main drive behind this association. And we also operate on an online platform. So our members are virtual. They're all over the country. We're a national association. We administer their profile on an online platform, and that's how we interact with our members.
Would Narfo then and its online presence basically set you aside from the other associations that's available to the public?
I think most of the other associations out there are sort of specific to either sport shooting or either hunting. And in many cases, there's a combination between sport shooting and hunting, where we sort of, our focus is on the general firearm owning public. That also includes sport shooting and hunting.
So you previously mentioned dedicated status. So then basically what dedicated status do you then offer?
So we offer both dedicated sport shooting status and dedicated hunter status. So our members can go through all the motions by doing the online courses we have on our platform, doing the practical assessments by shooting our targets on the range, and then applying online for their status. And we will then, if everything is in place, we will then award them with the status, with certain provisions in the act that they need to be active, they need to be dedicated. So, and that's, again, it comes back to our drive to keep people active, get your firearm out of the safe, go to the range, use it. We also promote other sports. We've got about 43 of our own shooting disciplines, and we also recognize 31 of other association shooting disciplines that they can use to for their sport shooting status. And obviously hunting is a completely separate ball game. There the member must go and arrange his own hunts, and go to the farm, be active, hunt, and submit all of your activities then to keep your dedicated status.
Okay. So can you tell me a little bit more about the requirements of then maintaining that dedicated status for dedicated hunters, and what would be the requirements then for dedicated sport shooters?
We require our members to participate in at least 2 activities per year, be it for sport shooting, if you're a sport shooter, and obviously for hunting, 2 hunting-related activities. And we've also just launched a whole new loyalty program based on the fact that we want to keep our members active. We don't want people to own firearms and never use them. So we've launched a loyalty program now, whereby we extend the membership every time he submits a new activity that is part of his profile, and therefore we reward him with extra days on his membership. Our membership works from the day that you join for 365 days. So we renew members on a daily basis as and when they join. So this loyalty program then extends that. So if you're quite active, you can easily score a month on your membership, which means that you will only renew a month later than what you originally would have.
Oh, that's nice.
I think this is a first in the industry. We've just launched our new website now on our new platform, and we've also rolled out this loyalty program now about 3 days ago.
Wow, so it's very new and very exciting by
It,
the look of it. Like you say, that sets you miles apart from the other associations, which has to renew every year.
yes, we do. Our members do renew their membership every year. But so if your membership is due for renewal the 31st of May and you've been active the past year, your membership would now only be renewed in June or maybe even July. So every time you submit an activity, we add a number of days to your expiry date. So you keep on extending your expiry date of your membership by being active.
That's fantastic. Elmo, can you tell me if anybody can become a dedicated hunter or dedicated sport shooter? So do I, for example, need to have my competency before I can join Narfo and have status?
So there's two aspects to this. The one is that you need to still operate within the confines of the Firearms Control Act. And the other one is the rules and regulations of NARFU becoming a dedicated person. So, first of all, owning a firearm, the Act says that you need to be 21, but with special circumstances, with the history of shooting and being a dedicated person, we have had members who have had firearms issued to them, firearm licenses issued to them under the age of 21. But then it takes a little bit more motivation, and you really need to provide proof that you are active in whatever you are doing. From a NARFO perspective, we don't discriminate against people who wants to become a dedicated person. You can become a dedicated person without owning a firearm. So that's not the dedicated status isn't linked to a prescribed parameter of owning a firearm. So if you want to become a dedicated person long before you have a firearm, then you're free to do so. You need to write the course online, you need to do a practical, and in that case you might have to borrow a friend's firearm or go with him to the range and do the practical course, and then become a dedicated person and then stay active. This will also count towards the day that you actually buy a firearm and need to use your dedicated status as motivation for obtaining this firearm. So basically, anybody can become a dedicated person in terms of our framework. Although, if you below the age of 21, then we ask you a little bit more questions and make sure that you're doing this for the right reasons and so on. So yes, anybody technically can become a dedicated person of the association.
And you offer that service to your membership where you assist them obtaining that licenses and to obtain that motivation if, for example, they are younger than 21 and if, for example, they were to obtain a new firearm. You assist them with motivations, etc.?
Yes, we try and assist our members through the whole value chain of purchasing and owning and maintaining your firearm and your firearm licenses. So we also have a number of partners in the industry, and our business model is sort of unique in the way that we've partnered with the Wildman Group as a entry into what we're trying to achieve by playing one or fulfilling one part of the value chain. So a person walks into a gun shop and he wants to buy his first firearm. It's a handgun, and he now needs to go through all the motions. So owning a firearm and getting your first license is quite a challenge if you've never done it before. So first of all, you need to obtain your competency, which means that you need to get an accredited service provider to give you the training. You do your practical, you write your exams, and then you get your competency certificate in terms of the PFDC. And this is SACITA accredited training providers will then provide you with that learnership. You then need to take that and actually apply for your competency through SAPS, and they issue you with your competency certificate. So we assist our members through that. We don't provide the training ourselves. We've got partners who actually do the competency training. So we'll assist the members with getting their competency. We'll assist them with applying for their competency. And the member has now bought his firearms, so we also assist them with writing their motivations. And they can also join our association and submit that with the application saying I do belong to an association within the rules of how we operate. And obviously then you submit your firearm application, and then once you receive your license, which could be 6 months or a year, we then want to encourage our members to actually, when they get the firearm, to actually use it. So we want to get them out on the range. We want to get them to shoot it. We want to get them to actually use this. Shooting is something that you need to build up muscle memory. So it's not something, if you want to use your firearm effectively, you have to use it regularly. It's building up muscle memory. It's making sure that you know how your firearm operates and works. You can effectively clean it. You can effectively maintain it. You know how to make you know how to load your firearm. You know how to make it safe. You know how to fire it. So all of those things, we encourage our members to become active and actually do this on a regular basis. So we play that one part in the value chain of owning a firearm in assisting members to do all of that.
So that would include endorsements, for example. Can you just give us a brief explanation about endorsements?
Yes, so if you apply for a firearm license, you have to sort of motivate what the intended use of the firearm license is. And in terms of Firearms Control Act, there's various sections under which you can license your firearm. So we cater mainly for the self-defense person, the hunter, the sport shooter, which is Section 13 and Section 16. We will then, based on your submission, so through your user profile, you can go and submit an application for an endorsement. We ask you a lot of questions. You have to motivate the intended use of this firearm. We then assess your motivation to make sure that the intended use, that the firearm can actually be applied for that use. And we then issue you an endorsement to say this firearm is fit for purpose, for the purpose of which you stated the intended use. You can then download that certificate from your profile and submit that with your application. So the endorsements do carry a little bit of weight when your application goes to SAPS. They can at least see that you are belonging to an association, that the intended use of this firearm has been sort of verified by our panel of experts, and submit that with your application.
Okay, fantastic. Any specific disciplines that you guys offer that is uniquely Narfo?
Yes, so we've got a couple of our sport shooting disciplines that have been sort of uniquely created, and we've designed our own targets. So members can download these targets from their profile. We've got a rule book of about 55 pages. They can go and find out which firearm they have, and they can find the associated discipline that they can shoot, and off you go. So something that has sort of taken the shooting market by storm in the last couple of years is shooting at steel. So either you shoot handgun at steel targets, you shoot shotgun at steel targets, and you shoot rifle at gongs or so. And everywhere you look on the internet and you see shooting matches, somewhere there's a gong to be shot. And not everybody always has access to gongs and to put them up all over. So we've designed a paper gong, which you can put up. Acts and behaves like a normal gong if you see it through your sights of your optics, although you don't get that cling sound when you hit it, but you can see the holes in the target, and you can also see your misses, which you can't see on a steel gong. When you miss a steel gong, it's miss, and you sometimes don't know where it goes. So I think that's sort of unique in our space. And some of our other targets are also quite unique in the way that it's applied. We try and get the firearm owners to actively participate in shooting events. So we've also got accuracy tests where you can sight in your firearm, shoot a grouping of 3, and then shoot the same firearm from the different positions to test your own ability. So if you know your firearm is accurate, then you move away from your stable bench position, and you now need to shoot free hands from your elbows, from standing position, and then you need to sort of shoot the same type of grouping. So we've got activities like that as well.
Okay, now how do the man on the street get a hold of Narfo? How do I join up? How do I become part of the Narfo family?
So there's 2 ways. We've partnered, as I said, with the Wildman Group. So if you go there and you buy a firearm, the salesperson would assist you with your registration on our Narfo site. So it's you can go and browse it. It's www.narfo.co.za. Or you can just go straight to our website and join there. Sign up. We've got an automatic payment gateway. Once your payment is through, your profile becomes active, and then all the other options are there for you to use. Obviously, all of the things that we've been talking about has got certain rules and regulations. So once you become a member, you can go and download our constitution. You can go and download our rules and regulations on how to do certain things, and then off you go.
Targets, everything I need to know about Narfo on the website.
All on the website. Our targets, our constitution, our rules, our sport shooting rules. We enhancing our hunting section as well to all the proclamations of the different provinces and so on. So our main aim is to keep members informed. If the more people we can keep informed that owns firearms, the better for the firearm industry. You can use it on any device. You don't need to download an app from the App Store or the iOS store. You basically put in our web address into your phone, and it would ask you if you want to install this as an app, and then it acts and behaves like an app. So that's really cool.
Elmo, so we currently under level 4 lockdown, which is extremely frustrating, I think, for everybody. How does this affect Narfo and its members, especially when it comes to compliance for dedicated status?
So because we're online, it makes it a little bit easier, and I'll explain to you why. Obviously, the guys out there are just waiting to get to a shooting range. If I look at all the comments on all the groups I'm on, the guys have prepped, they've done low development, they've done some reading up, and they've shopped a little bit online and so on. So the guys are really geared up for this lockdown to come to an end. But it's still possible for our members to maintain their dedicated status even during lockdown. It's a little bit difficult to obtain your dedicated status. Obviously, you can't do the practical part of it, but you can still, in the confines of your home, write the online exam, the theory part of it. And you can, there's a number of activities that you can use for to show that you've been active. You can do low development, you can do all kinds of stuff that you don't actually need to be at the range, and submit that as an activity, and we'll accept it. We understand that people are restricted to what they really want to do, so we're not going to be too strict on declining our dedicated members at the end of the year if they haven't complied fully. But as I said, I think within the parameters of how we operate and the things that you're allowed to do in terms of our activity list, I think all of our members should be able to easily maintain their dedicated status.
Elmo, thank you so much for talking to us today. And thank you so much for the part you guys as Narfo play in the firearm industry. It's really been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, I think thanks for having us on the show. And I think collectively, between ourselves and all the other associations out there, be they accredited or non-accredited, I think we all play a part in supporting firearm ownership in this country. The firearm owning public that belongs to associations or some club or some formal structure is very small. Less than 10% of firearm owners actually belong to some structure. And this is a goal of us to get more and more people involved in the formal firearm community. And it's also the goals of other associations like us to serve the members. We have to get the firearm owning public together into this one big umbrella of firearm ownership, alongside the various associations that are out there. So thank you very much for having us. And well done to GOSA and the team for all the things that they've done for the firearm owning public. And we hope you the best with your upcoming court case. I think everybody is sitting on edge waiting for that result.
That one, let's hold thumbs and we come out victorious on that one.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.